See, in Ghana, particularly in the tech space, one of the things that has not been talked about most and is really affecting us is the GPS system of this country. I'm talking of Ghana. The GPS system in this country is so bad. So it won't be a news when you order a boat and the driver calls you to ask you for where you actually are, because for the GPS and what he's seeing on his end, probably you might be in a certain bush or in a certain forest. Now, I'm making this video because of an experience I had, and I feel like this is something that we need to actually talk about and find solutions to it. So last week, Telecel Ghana decided to do their things again. I didn't have network for the whole day, and I was so worried because that is my primary internet provider. This video is not to tarnish their image or whatsoever. I decided to actually reach out to them on Twitter to make a complaint about them so that they can actually find a fix for it. So I tweeted at them on Twitter or X. Don't laugh. I tweeted at them on Twitter or X, expressing my discontent or displeasure to them, and their customer service being so good and top notch, they replied back. But then they wanted me to send them some details, which included my phone number, my location, and the exact location on the GPS address. So for my phone number and my location, something that I know of it, so I can just type it and send them to them directly. But in my exact location, which is the GPS, I needed the latitude and longitude numbers, and the only way I could find that was to search it online, to use an online tool to help me find out that. Long story short, watch this video.
Guys, I want you to look at something right here.
Just this evening, I needed my latitude and longitude degrees for a form that I was filling online, and the only way I could find it is to use an online tool. So I came to this website, which is gpscoordinates.org, and Charlie, look at the address. It is telling me I am in Achimota Forest, Accra, Ghana. Hey, somebody where at the Cape Coast. The GPS they tell me say at the Achimota Forest. And as you can see in the video we all watched, somebody in Cape Coast, UCC Cape Coast to be precise, the GPS location was telling me I'm in Achimota Forest. Could you believe this? Like, Cape Coast, it's not like I'm even in Accra or I'm even in Kansas, somewhere near Accra that at least we can say due to we should leave room for Inaccurate and all that. I'm in Cape Coast, like I'm kilometers away from the exact location the GPS is saying I am. And this is something that is really affecting us, but it seems our minds are not actually drawn to the fact that this is something that needs to be dealt with rapt attention. That's why I'm making this video. In this video, I'm going to explain why we need an accurate GPS system as a country, how it is affecting us, and some possible ways in which we can actually solve this GPS problem. I'm Happy Amera. Stay tuned. Alright, so why is this GPS something such a big deal? It actually is because there are a lot of things that depend on the GPS. Now, look at the number of phones on your phone that actually require you to use your location or allow your location so that they can run effectively. As if that is not enough, let me give you a scenario right here. Let's say you are lost somewhere, or you are being attacked somewhere, or let's say you find yourself in a very dangerous situation somewhere and you need to call the assistance of the police or the ambulance, or even your house is on fire and you need to call the Ghana National Fire Service for them to come and actually rescue you, and you call them and then you give them your GPS coordinates, knowing that that is what will actually help them get to your place. By the time they figure out that that whole thing is crap, you would have died, or the situation would have grown much worse. So now look at my situation where I was in Cape Coast and the GPS was telling me I was in Achimota Forest. Assuming I needed the help of the police, like whatever would have happened to me would have happened to me. Now, not even talking of the safety, let's put the safety of our lives aside. One major thing why we need a GPS is for business to run effectively. Due to the advent of online businesses and e-commerce and all businesses now trying to navigate the online space and all that, GPS is something that we need to actually take into consideration. Now, consider these ride hailing services like Bolt, Yango, and the likes that you just order, and then the driver just looks at the map and knows where you are and comes there. From the map or from the location you've entered, the driver don't need to further interview you on wherever you are going. The driver can just follow the mapping and then get to wherever you want to get to. But here is the case that in this country, that whole GPS system doesn't work. So you order a boat and then the driver calls you and be like, yo Charlie, I beg where you dey. Meanwhile, you've entered your location, the app has shown your location to the driver. But if the driver is to actually follow those things, he can't get to you. And sometimes those of us with private I beg, I don't have a private car. Those of you those of you with private cars, you notice that if you are traveling somewhere alone and let's say you need help in finding the location and you actually use Google Maps, the GPS in the country would actually lead you astray. Like you'd go to some bushes you never even realized was part of the country. So businesses, aside these ride hailing services, there are businesses that do deliveries to clients. And even you as a customer, sometimes you need a GPS to know the exact location of your business to actually visit the physical stores and go there to purchase whatever you are going to purchase. Now, with all these things not working, businesses are at stake. Businesses that work online, businesses that rely on this GPS system to be able to effectively function are now getting at loss because the GPS system is not working. And when all these things happen, see, businesses really impact the economy. So when all these things happen, the economy also drastically reduces because the profits the businesses are supposed to make with the advantage of having the internet and all these GPS and technology systems backing them are no more working. So it also adversely affects the economic growth of the country. Aside that, data collection in terms of collecting data like traffic patterns and a whole lot of other data that we need that we can actually access when we have a good GPS system won't work because the GPS system, as I said already, is something that is not so useful. In major cities like Accra and Kumasi, the GPS system is a little bit well laid. But for those of us in the other parts of the country, we can't have access to a stable and accurate GPS system in a country. And this is something that, to me, I feel like all tech content creators should come on board and let's campaign for this. This is something that we actually need. This is something that is important to us as online users and as users of technology so that we'll be able to effectively function well. So, with all that being said, looking at all the negative things that have been said and the effects of having inaccurate GPS on us as a country and on our businesses, on our personal lives and all those things, how can we as a country solve this problem? First of all, it starts from you. Now, when you're using GPS, specifically Google Maps, when the location is wrong, you can actually report the location or make a feedback to Google Maps for them to actually check it. And then you can also put businesses and other stuff, other landmarks by yourself on Google Maps. I don't know if I should make a video on that. If you be interested in learning how to place major landmarks near you and businesses near you on the Google Maps, leave it in the comment section and I'll do justice to that. Depending on the number of comments, let's say if I'm able to get 30 comments demanding that, I'll do a video on that. So you can also in a way help digitally map up the country by putting some of the landmarks and all the things on the online mapping system. Now, as a country, we need to, one, invest in the correct infrastructure to make sure these systems are working, these systems are up and running. And this is something that the government has to really take into consideration and invest some amount of money in making sure that the correct infrastructure is being put in place. Two things that will also help is the digital mapping initiatives. This is something that should be deliberate by the government, that we should actually digitally map up the locations in our country on the global positioning system so that we can have a more accurate system. And then it shouldn't be only the government. Private partnerships can also help. So partnership between the government bodies and then the private partnerships can also make sure that these GPS systems are actually up and running and working effectively in the country. Now, what is the take from this video? Accurate GPS is not a luxury we are supposed to enjoy. It is a necessity. We shouldn't have it as a privilege. And it is affecting the lives, the businesses, and the economy of the country as a whole. I'm so passionate speaking about this because this is something that is affecting a lot of lives and a lot of people. And I feel like we should campaign for this. So I'd want you to do one thing for me, just one thing. Share this video, post it on your timeline, post it on your status, everywhere you can share it. Let's raise awareness to fix the GPS system in the country. Well, I said one thing, but then I would also want you to like this video and then subscribe and put us on post notifications so that whenever we drop more 10 contents like this, you'd be notified. My name is Apia Amera. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.